I've always said that one of BattleTech's greatest strengths is the passion of its community. So in many conversations over the years, the constant is a level of positive caring for the IP that surpasses anything I've seen in other fandoms. This can be seen in obvious things such as the overwhelming support for the recent Catalyst Kickstarters. However, it can also be found in the passion projects of fans who feel compelled to create and add to the BattleTech universe. I include myself in this as a writer of some non-canon BattleTech fiction. Today's video is intended to highlight the creation of one of my longtime channel supporters, and it's also a love letter to the community which continually impresses me. Your creativity and willingness to spend time and resources on these passion projects is inspiring. Thank you for doing it. The Delranes Combat Equipment 3059 is a fan-made technical readout created by a small team of devoted BattleTech fans. The writing credit goes to Stephen Cross, who has gone above and beyond in support of this channel over the past year. The credit for art goes primarily to Matt Plog, with additional contributions from Wildcat144 and Octobomb. You're seeing their work on the screen and will throughout the video review. The PDF was assembled by Willis Teal, and proofreading was done by Nicholas Hausler. If you're a fan of the art, check out the links in the video description for more info on the artists. Now one might ask, what could this TRO be about in an era that is already so well covered by previous TROs and sourcebooks? As Stephen explains in the book's foreword, he sought out to tell stories about mechs that might have been one-ofs, lost to history, or bureaucratic wrangling, politics, or even just the ever-changing fog of war. The Inner Sphere is a big place, and it's entirely reasonable that tinkerers, experimenters, and the realities of a strained logistical universe created opportunities to try new things. This TRO seeks to highlight some of those possible designs. It's all non-canon, of course, but I think there's value in stepping up and showing people just how big the BattleTech universe is as a sandbox for creativity. The TRO begins with a short summary of the Inner Sphere post-Mera Civil War, focusing mainly on the gradual loss of technology throughout the Succession Wars. Through the discovery of the Helm Memory Core and the arrival of the clans, there's an industrial and technological boom as the Inner Sphere frantically tries to build new weapons of war to face down the clans, as well as upgrade existing tech and tank designs. This TRO is intended to fit with the TROs like 3050 and the 3050 Upgrade, which had parallel ambitions. The explanations of new weapon systems like medium-range missiles, hypervelocity autocannons, and chemical lasers are easy to read and understand. Arguably, they're more accessible than the explanations found in other sourcebooks. There's also a section on mercenaries and their role in the typical unit composition, which is actually quite interesting, especially the part discussing the fate of small mercenary groups caught in the initial clan invasion. Oh, I love a happy ending. At this point in the TRO, the non-canon content really begins to ramp up, with an example mercenary unit known as the Rosenritter Roses of Steel. Founded in 3058, following the breakup of the Federated Commonwealth, the unit built their reputation fighting in the Chaos March against the Capellans and Capellan-backed forces. The Roses of Steel number 16 battle mechs, 24 vehicles, and 120 soldiers, along with 12 light transport vehicles. Unlike most mercenary units, they also have an aerospace contingent of 12, not too shabby. The unit details are great, and it even goes into the nitty-gritty details such as lance composition, platoons, and wings. The armory section is where things get really interesting. What we have is a collection of 12 mechs and tanks that have been given the typical TRO treatment. What sets this fan-made book apart is the quality of the art produced for each unit. As you have seen in the video, the line artwork by Plog is stellar. It really sells this book as something that could absolutely pass as an official Catalyst release. The writing is great, the art is great. Now I won't spoil all the units in the TRO, as you should absolutely click on the link in the video comments below and check it out for yourself after the video. However, I do want to highlight a couple so you know the quality that you can expect from this book. One is the unique design, and another is a refit of an existing chassis. The first example is the RB-F1 Robberfly. This 25-ton battle mech is the result of a collaboration between the Free Worlds League and the Capellan Confederation following the Fourth Succession War. The end result was a speedy light mech with considerable jump capability that took advantage of double heatsinks and an XL engine. Armed with 3 medium lasers, a small pulse laser, and equipped with an ECM suite, the Robberfly could get to where it needed to be and hit fairly hard for its weight class when it got there. The second example is a refit of an existing mech. The KTO 20K Kintaro is 55 tons of cutting-edge technology for the time. With double heatsinks, an MRM-20, and case, this variant of the Kintaro has some pretty substantive upgrades. The large laser and the MRM-20 are going to be doing a lot of the work, but they are backed up by an SRM-6 and a medium laser for those close-in brawls. It's a solid design that isn't overpowered like so many fan-build variants tend to be. The description of the mech's history is top-notch, and if you didn't know any better, you'd think you were reading a particularly well-done Catalyst TRO. One of the weaker aspects of the official TROs are those notable Mechwarrior sections, which, more often than not, have very little worth noting. The Delranes TRO doesn't suffer from that. The specificity in the unit description is interesting and often a very compelling read. If you like reading TROs, this book is going to be right up your alley. After the 12 mechs and tanks in the armory section, there are smaller updates on variants and one-ofs of other designs. They don't have any accompanying art, but are interesting all the same. The BJ1 LAC Blackjack jumped out to me as an interesting upgrade from the older Mechs AC2s to light AC5s. This gives the Blackjack more firepower, and a bit of the weight savings is devoted to bulking up the Mech's notoriously thin armor coverage. Not too shabby. The Delranes Military Equipment TRO wraps up with a piece of short fiction titled Close Call. It's just about a page long, but does a good job of describing the shock and disbelief that is often the result of running up against the clans in the first decade of the invasion. If you're a fan of BattleTech line art, I would absolutely recommend you give this free TRO a view. If you like to try quirky refits of existing designs, or just want to freshen things up in the invasion era with some new mechs, this TRO is worth a gander. And finally, if you are a burned out mech jock who doesn't want to give any more money to anyone, but wants to consume more BattleTech content, check out this free TRO. The links to both the TRO and the associated record sheets are below in the comments, so check them out. Thanks for watching. Remember that hitting all the buttons makes YouTube happy and ensures that the nonsense keeps flowing. Big thanks to the channel members and Ko-Fi crew for going above and beyond to keep the lights on around here. Take care, and go make the world a slightly better place today and tomorrow.